So, as everyone on this call knows, yesterday morning on the Jewish festival of Simchat Torah, hundreds of Palestinian terrorists infiltrated the internationally recognized border with Israel and attacked Israeli communities. Armed killers hunted Israeli families to kill house by house. Among the acts of barbarism, we know the terrorists have murdered at least 500, including young and old. And that figure, I think, is still expected to rise. These acts of barbarism have been widely recorded, and the battle at the moment to drive the terrorists out of Israel is still raging. But we also know that Hamas kidnapped dozens of hostages and have taken them into Gaza. They abducted children from their parents' arms and the elderly from their carers. And one of those was Yaffa, the grandmother of Adva Adar, who we have here on the call. We will open this to questions. I think either use the hand icon and please raise your hand. Adva, thank you so much for agreeing to do this.
Thank you for listening.
Listen, it's impossible to imagine what you're going through. But still, if you could tell us a little about where you are now, what we know about Yappa's kidnap, that would be really helpful. Thank you.
So I'm at my house in a moshav called Luzit. It's not in the area of Gaza. My grandmother used to live, I don't know how to even start to call it, in a kibbutz called Nir Oz, which is with the border with Gaza. She lived there years. She was from one of the founders of this kibbutz. A big fan of Israel, a true believer of our nation. And yesterday, about 8 o'clock, we lost contact with her. The last message she sent us was that she hears shooting and people screaming in Arab in the streets of the kibbutz. We tried to understand what's going on. We have more family there. We could talk with everyone else, but we lost contact with her. We didn't know what's going on. And just around 5 o'clock, 5 p.m., we found out that after all the houses, the IDF came in and they found people and they started to bring them. And they went to my grandmother's house and they found it totally broken, burned to ash, and she wasn't there. We started to look for her and we found videos in Facebook that the Hamas posted that show clearly how they're taking her. She's 85 years old, ill, taking her to Gaza. Like 4 men with guns and her. I can not even start to imagine how scared and how uncomfortable she was. Again, she's 85. She's sick. She has no medicine with her. We don't know where is she, if she has food, if she has water. If she even survived it. It's unclear, the situation right now. All the information we have is from the videos that somehow the Hamas posted and with a lot of pride.
Right.
And they see her, the video shows her entering to Gaza and people screaming and recording it as a festival. And we're heartbroken. We have no words even to start to imagine what is it to be kidnapped as 80 years old. And we know she's not the only one. Only in her kibbutz, there's more children, there are more babies. And from another kibbutz in the area also, the numbers are impossible to even start to understand. And again, we're talking about the elders, we're talking about babies, we're talking about children. it's that are held captive somewhere.
I can't tell you how grateful we are. Again, we cannot begin to conceive of how you are feeling, how the family is feeling, and what you're going through at this time. You say your grandmother's health is not good, and her medicine is on the kibbutz. Do you think that she is mentally aware of the current situation that she is in?
I want to believe so, but she doesn't have a lot of time without her medicines. And if she has a lot of time, she doesn't have, but the time she's having, she's suffering very much. Some of her medicine is to make her live with a lot of pain she has, and even the time she has now, it's I'm sure she's suffering very much.
We think she's totally aware mentally. The
She
problem
is totally aware. Yeah. I'm so sorry. I do want journalists to be able to ask questions, and so if you could use either the icon, the hand icon, or put your hand up, and then we will take you off mute. So Nicholas Rouget has raised his hand.
Hi guys, thank you so much for doing this. And again, yes, as Marcus said, really sorry to hear about this. It's horrible. I was wondering what's the situation with the Israeli authorities? Like how do you feel their support? Do you feel supported by society, by the authorities specifically?
Yes. From the society, we feel very, very supported. Israel is a very strong nation. From the society part, from the authorities, we haven't heard anything yet, but there is a big mess from this part, from the authorities part. The society is very supportive. We are getting tons of support, but that's it.
We haven't heard anything from the authorities. No one talked with us. No one told us anything. We found out she was kidnapped by the videos we found on Facebook.
Absolutely horrible.
Shira Rubin.
Yeah, hi Adva. Thank you so much for this again. Obviously, so sorry to hear that about what's going on with your grandmother. It's heartbreaking. I mean, you and your family have lived in the South for a long time. You've experienced kind of Hamas in a level that other Israelis have not. I know you're not a politician or an analyst or anything like that, but you're coming from kind of the human side of this. Do you feel that the writing was kind of on the wall, that this is not a total, obviously it's a shock, but that this terrible tragedy is something that you have been warning the government of for a long time and you've been ignored? Or what do you think about, do you think you haven't been taken seriously enough, you and your community down there?
I don't know how to answer it. I don't think that anyone could imagine that something like this is even possible. I wanted to believe that if something like this could be possible, then the IDF would have or the other authorities will have the ability to know about it. But for us, I don't think that even in our worst nightmare, we could even imagine that something like this is possible. But I do think that the area there is under attack for so many years, and I don't want to get into politics because I think that right now it's not the time for it. But I do think that some question has to be asked, but that's not the time for it. I just think that we need to focus now on
the people that are kidnapped, that are not with us.
Sorry, can I ask a second question based on the other one before? So when you first reached out to, when you first learned of your grandmother's situation, who did you turn to, and what was the response? Like, what were the actual steps that were taken after that?
I think that one of the worst problem is there's no one really to talk with. There's no one authority that has all the information. There's some individuals that made some documentation, and we called them, we gave them the information. The IDF that entered to my grandmother's house obviously know she's missing, but there's no one else to talk with. There's no one else to understand or to ask questions. It's like we are ignored. We're just
we're trying to gather information in every possible way we have.
That's part of the reason we're doing this, because we think that someone needs to tell us what's going on.
Thank you, Adva. Ruth Aglash, and then Isabel.
Hi. Hello. Thank you so much for talking to us. I'm actually seeing maybe one of your cousins now on Channel 12 speaking about your grandmother as well. But I wanted to ask you if you have a message to Hamas. I mean, all of us on this call are writing for the foreign media, and I'm sure that it's being watched closely by people in Gaza and around the world. So do you have a message that you would like to get out about your grandmother? Thank you.
Don't know if there's anyone that to listen, but I just pray they will be more connected to their hearts and understand that there's innocent people. She's 85 years old. She's innocent. She's done nothing wrong. Or the children, or the babies, or the woman or man, whatever. They all need to come back home safe. They're not to blame. And I just hope that they will find a place in their heart to keep them safe, to bring them back home.
Thank you, Adva. We all know how hard this is for you, and really, our hearts go out. Isabel.
Hi, I'm Isabel from the Associated Press. Again, thank you so much for talking to us. I wanted to ask, sort of similar to Ruth's question, but do you have a message for the Israeli government, as we head into what could be a very long war? There's already sort of, the political aspect of things, there are talks of prisoner exchanges and all of that. What would you want the Israeli government to sort of keep in mind as we go forward here?
I want them to do everything possible in order to find them and bring them all home, whatever it takes. I want them to put their politics or the situation aside and just focus on keeping everyone safe and bring them back home to us. I want them to talk with us and tell us what's going on, to give us information, to let us feel that they know how to control it and what's going on, because right now it feels like chaos. You have something else? I don't know.
I do not see any more questions at this time.
No, there are two more from Ruth Eglash and Nicholas Rouget.
Oh, okay. Nicholas, and then yes, go back to Ruth.
Hi, hi again. I was wondering, in terms of, you were talking about the solidarity from the rest of Israeli society. I was wondering if you had organized in some way with other people, that if other people that had close ones taken into Gaza, if you had gotten together, if there was some kind of movement also to create that kind of dynamic at this point.
I think it's starting to happen. There's contact with some other families. We just realized, I think that yesterday we were in shock, trying to understand what's going on. And from this morning, people understood that and how to connect one with each other. And but nothing really formally right now.
Bettina.
Yeah, hi. This is Bettina with German broadcast. First of all, I'm very sorry, and yeah, just put my thoughts with you. And I wanted to ask you, maybe I joined a bit later, sorry, maybe somebody asked that, but what are you hoping to achieve by contacting the international media? I think for me, talking about people that are maybe missing on the air is a bit difficult. I'm kind of weighing, is this a good idea or not? Do you think is because could it do more harm, or is it a good idea? I'm just struggling a bit with the ethics, and maybe you can help me to understand how you think this will help.
I think there's two aspects from this. Yeah,
sorry. Yes, go on, Adva.
I think one of my big wishes it's to people understand what we're going through, and that we're talking about civilians being held captured in Gaza. We're talking about children and babies and elders, and I don't think the picture in the worldwide shows it. And in my personal wish, I wish that somehow it will make a pressure that will help us bring my grandmother home. When the world will see that we're talking about 85 years old that was kidnapped, and somehow the pressure worldwide would help us bring her.
And everybody else.
And everybody else, of course.
We are talking here, so you worldwide will understand that.
Well, I don't know if that helps you in any way, or I think they're also foreigners. I think maybe under the people that have been abducted, and I think, I mean, I don't know, just something that I heard, but it's a possibility. It's also people from other countries that have been kidnapped.
That has been reported, yes. Ruth, do you still want to ask your follow-up question?
No, I'm fine. Thank you so much for talking to us.
So, if there are no more questions, thank you all. Adva, thank you so much. Our hearts are with Yaffa, with your family, and we can only hope for a swift return. Thank you all.
Thank you very much.